Welcome back to Shadows of Primus and Episode 3 of our Dominion campaign. There are spoilers ahead, so if you would like to get caught up on the story, be sure to go back and watch the first 2 episodes. As a brief overview, House Delac brokered a deal between the Renegades of House Orlok and the Thunderhawks of House Goliath. The only winner in the deal was the House of Shadows. As the Thunderhawks sought out the Dark Syndicate of House Delac, they were quickly silenced. House Orlok had their hands full with the Vanguard enforcers that were tipped off on the deal. Little did either know that a Delac assassin was tracking both of them. The assassin was killed, and both gangs made it out unscathed. Now we turn our attention to the Nines of House Escher, as they have agreed to search deep in the underhive on behalf of House Orlok. This turns out to be a fool's errand, as the Crimson Fane of the Corpse Grinder cult are also in the area searching for the stash. In the mist, ancient machinery grinds to life. The Nines of House Escher find themselves in a desperate battle to survive against the Crimson Fane of the Corpse Grinder cult, as well as the walls closing in on them. The scheming of House Delac has rippled through the major houses of this sector and thrown them literally into chaos. No matter the outcome, the Nines will have a score to settle if they can make it out. We've got a great battle lined up today between the Nines of House Escher and the Crimson Fane of the Corpse Grinder cults. As always, before we do battle, I like to introduce something for the community. In this episode, I want to highlight the artwork of Carl Johnston. You'll see several of his unique hand-drawn posters on our terrain today, and more of them on our upcoming battle reports. I'll provide links to his Instagram in the comments. Thank you for supporting our community and giving us the tools we need to bring these games to life. Also, for those that have helped the channel grow along the way, you may start finding your names or marks on our terrain as a way of saying thank you. I can't guarantee you'll ever see it or you'll even know that a mark is you, but I'm so thankful that you watch our content and you're probably out there somewhere. Now, on to the forces of House Escher. The Nines are led by Siren, a queen with shock whip and combi bolter needle rifle. She has toxin from 18 inches out. She also has flak armor. Her skill of choice is dodge, allowing her to dodge a wound from a melee or ranged attack on a 6-up. Banshee is a death maiden with a needle pistol and venom claw. She wears flak armor and has the ability spring up, allowing her to stand up for free if pinned by passing her 2+ initiative check. Diva is a matriarch with a plasma gun and flak armor. She also has dodge. Widow is a sister specialist with Nightshade Chem Thrower and flak armor. Dagger is a sister with lasgun and flak armor. Tempest is a sister with lasgun and flak armor. Quickblade is a little sister with las pistol and flak armor. The ladies have 7 fighters worth 995 credits. Over for the Crimson Fane, they are led by the Butcher of Widows. He is paired with Butcher's chain cleavers, plate mail, Butcher's mask, and an armored undersuit. He has the skill Commanding Presence, adding 1 additional fighter to his group activation. Gormal is a cutter with rotary flensing saw, armored undersuit, plate mail, and a cutter's mask. He has Rain of Blow, making his fight a simple action instead of basic. Skullshank is a cutter with paired Butcher's cleavers. He also has the Corpse Grinder cult icon that gives all ready fighters within 6 inches D3 additional movement. He also has the skill Avatar of Blood, allowing him to discard flesh wounds for wounds he inflicts. He has plate mail, a mask, and an undersuit. Gorgon is a skinner with paired Butcher's chain cleavers. Bonjo and Marrow are initiates with auto pistols, boning swords, and smoke grenades. Slipknot is an initiate with auto pistol and Butcher's cleaver and smoke grenades. They have 7 fighters in total, worth 1,000 credits. Today we are fighting over the Bone Shrine, which provides an extra boon if the Corpse Grinder cult can capture it. The scenario we're playing is Escape the Pit. Crews are D3+4, and Escher rolled up for 5, and the Corpse Grinders for all 7. Loot caches have been placed on the battlefield, and gangs are trying to grab them and escape through the center of the board. As they try to do so, starting on turn 3, the walls will begin to move and tiles will begin to disappear. Fighters caught in the collapse could go out of action. In addition, fighters may escape the battlefield if they climb the tower back to safety. They can escape even if they are seriously injured. If either gang has no fighters left on the battlefield at the end of the round, the game ends. Victory goes to the gang that carries the most loot caskets off the battlefield via the escape point. Tactics cards have been selected, with the Nines taking Stealthy Advance and Unexpected Help. That's going to give them one extra fighter in reserve. The Corpse Grinders have selected Blood Surge and Click. Turn 1 of Episode 3 is coming up next. Alright, Stealthy Advance being played by the Nines. We'll see Dagger, Diva, as well as Widow make moves forward to take better positions. Priority rolls for turn 1 coming out now. I am rolling up for the Corpse Grinders, my son 4, House Escher. We tie on the first, re-rolling those back out. I get a 2, and he is going to be up with a 6. Banshee will activate first, use both of her actions to move, getting behind the pillar. We then flip over to the Corpse Grinders, and Bonejaw is going to activate, use his first action to move. His second action will be to toss some smoke, and he is just trying to block line of sight from a potential toxin shot, and he will hit on 4s. He is going to miss. An ammo check is automatically required, and he is going to fail, so that will be deleted from his fighter card. A d6 and a scatter is rolled out, and it is going to hit the terrain, and that's where the smoke will go up. Diva activates for the Nines, uses both of her actions to move, and then Slipknot is going to attempt to throw smoke. He is going to aim, so needing 3s. That shot will miss as well. Ammo check automatically required. Due to the grenade special rule, that will fail. He's going to lose that off his fighter card as well. D6 and a scatter rolls out, and it's off the board. Widow activates next, and she picks up the chest and moves to the ladder. This took both of her actions to move, so she does not have enough to make it up. And then over for the Corpse Grinders, the Butcher of Widows will activate. He is going to move up, grab the chest, and then make a move towards the ladder on his side. Back over for the Nines, Dagger will make a move forward, pick up the loot casket, and then make a move back towards the ladder. Gormaw activates for the Corpse Grinders, moves down the flank, looking to contest the Death Maiden, moving up. And then back over to the Nines of House Escher. Siren will use both of her actions to move twice, gets to the base of the ladder, and uses her second to move up. Skullshank will activate next, and uses his first move to get up to the loot casket, picks it up, and moves to the base of the ladder. Gorgon will activate behind him, using both of his actions to move. Marrow activates for the Crimson Fane, uses both of his actions to move, getting fully behind cover, and this brings us to the end phase of turn 1. The Escher player will play a tactics card, Unexpected Help, allowing them to bring in an extra person from reinforcements. They roll a 2, however. That means that I got to pick where they come in, and I picked right over here next to one of my fighters. And although fast, that little sister should be no match for one of my champions, and trying to force a quick bottle test in this game is advantageous. So a quick look at the board, all fighters moving up. There are loot caskets for both sides at the bottom of the ladders, and things are going to get interesting as both sides begin to fight over the middle. Turn 2 priority rolls coming out now, and be sure to leave a like or a comment if you've ever done this before. Injury die rolled out for the initiative. Okay, gotta re-roll that back out. It looks like the Nines are going to be tough to beat with that 5, and I'm unable to beat it, so they will be up first. And Quickblade wants nothing to do with this champion. She is going to use both of her actions to move quickly around the corner. Back over to the Crimson Fane. Slipknot does not want any piece of the Escher champion, so he is moving behind this pillar, and he is going to stay put for now. This will get a reaction from Diva from the Nines, as she will use her first action to peel around the corner, and her second action will be to fire her plasma gun, targeting Marrow. So base 3, full cover for a 5, short range takes it back to a 4. This shot is going to miss. The ammo check is rolled out and is not required. Back over to the Crimson Fane. Bonejaw activates, moves to the door, and opens it with his second action. And then over to the Nines. Siren will activate, use her first action to move. Her second action will be to fire a needle rifle, which has Toxin, down at Marrow. A Toxin roll will be made, and it is going to fail. And then the Corpse Grinder player plays the Tactics card, Click. So that gun will be out of ammo, and it requires a 6-up in order to reload. Marrow doesn't want to stick around, so he is going to make a move going towards Diva, and he is going to pull out his auto pistol and fire, needing 4s, not quite in short range. That shot is going to miss. Widow, with her deadly gas weapon, is going to make a move to the top of the ladder, and her second action will be to continue moving down the catwalk. Gormaw is going to change facing and begin chasing down Quickblade with his versatile weapon. Back to the Nines. Banshee will activate, and she is going to move twice, closing the gap on Bonejaw, trying to get into combat. And then back to the Crimson Fane. Skullshank is going to use his first action to get to the top of the ladder with a move, and he will continue with his second action moving down the catwalk. Gorgon will follow behind him as part of a group activation, and then back over to the Nines. Dagger is going to use her first action to move to the base of the ladder, and her second action to move to the top. The Butcher of Widows will use his first action to move. He does not have enough room at the top of the ladder for his second action to carry him past the fighter, so he stays at the bottom. And the end phase of turn 2 is pretty clean. It looks like that we are about to get to some really good action in turn 3. This is going to be a really big priority roll coming up for both sides. And we do roll at the start of turn 3 to see if the machinery and the board starts to tighten. We rolled up a 1, so it will not happen this turn. Big priority roll coming out for turn 3. And it looks like the Corpse Grinders are going to be up first. And we've got a charge coming in from Marrow. He knows he's in trouble out in the open, and he charges into Diva. And 2 attacks from the Boning Sword, 1 coming from his pistol, so 3 attacks in total. Will need 4s in order to connect. And 1 hit goes through on the Boning Sword. Ammo check is required on the auto pistol. It fails, so that will be out of ammo. And it is Strength 3, Toughness 3, so 4s will be needed to wound, and there is no wound. Diva strikes back unarmed and will connect on 3s. Both of these are going to strike Marrow, but she will need 4s to cause a wound, and both of these will fail. And in a little bit of cat and mouse, back over to Quickblade. She moves twice, not sure how long she can last against a versatile weapon chasing her. And then over to the Crimson Fane. Bonejaw is going to activate. Getting away from the Death Maiden, he is moving twice as well. And the Nines activate Diva. She is going to attempt to deal with this Initiate, and striking unarmed on 3s. 2 attacks going out. One of these will hit, and Strength 3 against Toughness 3. 4s will be needed to cause a wound, and that will wound. So an armor save will be taken. He does have an Initiate's Mask and Flak Armor, and he is going to be good. Marrow will make his reaction attacks. 1 shot coming from the Boning Sword. It will hit on a 4, and then needing 4s to wound. It will do a wound. Does she dodge? No, she doesn't. The AP cuts right through the armor, and this is a 2 damage weapon, reducing her wounds to 0, and injury dice will be rolled out for Diva here. And she is going down with a serious injury. And it looks like Marrow hanging his nose out there for the Corpse Grinders ended up paying off for them anyway. And back over to them for the next activation. Slipknot is going to attempt to charge into Diva. Needs to get a 2 on a D3 in order to make it into contact. And he is going to roll up a 3 on a D3, successfully bringing him into contact with Diva. And he is going to take her out of action. And we're going to go ahead and take an injury test now, and that 5, never really a good thing. The next one is a 5. It's going to be a spinal injury that's going to reduce her strength by 1 and send her into recovery. The 9s then activate. Widow moves up and will activate the Nightshade Chem Thrower, catching 1 under the template, and this is the champion. So taking a gas roll here. The gas roll only needs a 3, and it's good. And then an injury die is rolled out, and just a flesh wound. That's unfortunate for the 9s. Skullshank will then activate, use his first move to get to the base of the ladder, and then his second move will be to climb that ladder, getting closer to the exit point. And Skullshank is out of line of sight from Dagger, but she is going to aim and fire her last gun at Gorgon across the board. That shot is going to miss, however, he is in full cover. And then Gormal announces a charge into Quickblade, rolls up a 5 on a D3. So that is going to be an 8-inch movement that will get him within engagement range to lash out with that rotary flensing saw using the versatile trait. And it will be a total of 3 attacks. We do 2 right here. They both miss. And then we add in 1 for the charge. And that was rolled separately as we initially left it out, but that is going to miss as well. Moving back over to the 9s, Banshee is going to make a move, use both of her moves to get to the base of the ladder. Her second move does not have enough to carry her up. And then we'll see Gorgon. He is going to make a move to the base of the ladder here. The Butcher is going to use his first move to get to the top of the ladder with his cash, and then the next move to come up behind Gorgon. And Siren is going to attempt to reload that Needle Bolter. That will fail. So she is going to make a move towards the Corpse Grinders. And in the end phase, a bottle check will be required by the 9s. And it will fail on this 5. The 9s will bottle. They will be testing at the start of the next turn. But if they do stick around, this one could get very interesting as there's a lot going on up top, and the Corpse Grinders are lined up to where they're just 1 gas shot away from being in a lot of trouble, but they could also take the lead. It's going to be a very interesting turn. Priority rolls coming up next. Alright, we've got a very important priority roll coming out now for turn 4. The walls did not close in again, rolled a 2 on that. The Escher forces roll a 1, and the Corpse Grinders are going to take priority. Now, after some careful thought and much debate, you guys know that I always let my son make the call on what he wants to do. I do share and exchange tactics with him, and I let him know that a group activation will be coming at his face. If he decides to stick around, he has elected to voluntarily flee the battlefield, and I can't disagree with that at all. So the ending here is a bit anticlimactic. The Escher forces are down a champion with a spinal injury. The little sister is very close to getting cut down by Gormal, and if they face a double charge up top, more than likely they are going to lose another fighter, and we still have a lot of campaign to fight through, so this scenario, while important, isn't the end-all be-all. So the Escher forces have obviously found a new way out, and the Crimson Fane will take a victory today, post-game coming up. And welcome back, and welcome to the post-game where the Crimson Fane take a victory over the Nines of House Escher. They will claim the Bone Shrine, which will grant them an extra boon, but we will cover that in a minute. So I'm sure we've all had a game that we thought ended too early. I know most probably wanted to see a bloodbath, including myself. Let's be honest, I was playing the Corpse Grinders. But sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. We have a long way to go, and keeping fighters healthy will be key, as it's a marathon and not a sprint. If Escher had won priority in turn 4, a potential gas template could have eliminated 2 threats and completely shifted the game. The Death Maiden was coming up to support them, and while the Crimson Fane would have received 1 victory point, I think the 9s take the rest, but it just didn't work that way, however, and the Corpse Grinders will take the victory. For spoils, the Corpse Grinders take 80 credits from the loot caskets and +4 rep, The Bone Shrine will generate 85 credits and 2 rep, including the enhanced boons. The Settlement generates 60 credits and 1 rep. The Nines will get 30 credits and 1 rep from their settlement. They also will have the option to recruit a Juve for free. The man of the match goes to Marrow for his takedown of an Escher matriarch. As always, we hope you've enjoyed this installment of Necromunda. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. And if you've happened to make it this far into the video, I'm going to put some Amazon affiliate links in the description, one for the US and one for the UK. Using those links, any purchase that you make on Amazon will generate a small commission back to us here at the channel. So if you would like to do that, it's absolutely no cost to you using those links, but will support us more indirectly. So certainly thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.